matter of hours, the team takes on Appalachian State right here in Lafayette. Their prediction is App State will leave as winners, and the Raging Cajuns will wish they'd done things differently. At least that's what the experts predict. Joining me on set to break it all down and compare the strengths and weaknesses before the game starts is Norman Locke. Norman hosts a sports radio show right here in Lafayette and is a 2019 Raging Cajun graduate. Thanks for joining me, Norman. Why is this game against App State and UL so important?
Home field advantage. The Cajuns want to capitalize on getting home field advantage for the Sun Belt Championship. App State is 4-1, the Cajuns are 4-1, Coastal Carolina is undefeated. The Cajuns want home field advantage for the Sun Belt Championship. This is a must-win game tonight.
I totally agree, and UL has only beaten App State once in the past, so this is a great time for them to bring back justice, make a statement, as UL has also won 4 straight games since their first loss against Texas, so this is going to be a great way to roll into things tonight, as well as the weather conditions. From the past, it was very wet and rainy. Today, we're clear and good to go, so that should be good for the UL football team, but the mistakes that UL needs to avoid is keeping the game close, as they have been doing that recently for pretty much this whole season, as App State, on the other hand, has had complete blowout games. So how do you feel like both teams should prepare on both sides of the ball to make sure that that does not happen?
Well, the Cajuns defense is going to have to come to play tonight. App State is averaging 35 points a game, so the Cajuns defense are going to have to limit the offensive possessions for App State. The Cajuns are going to have to come out and play a balanced game on offense. We're going to have to need a big game from Levi Lewis today.
I totally agree. And Levi Lewis is obviously one of our star players, but some other concerns is the injuries. App State has their quarterback, 2 running backs, safety, and right tackle being out, and UL with 3 offensive linemen, wide receiver, kicker, running back, and defensive linemen. So how do you feel like we should prepare knowing that we have some of our injured players out?
In the words of Billy Napier, scared money don't make no money. It's a next man up mentality in football. Injuries are part of the game. But I think the depth on the offensive line, the depth at running back, the depth on the defense, I think that the Cajuns are going to be okay going into this game.
I also agree with that statement. And they can really control the ball better, in my opinion, based on more rushing yards that they have in the book for this year. They can maintain that offensively. And in regards to Levi Lewis, I feel like he is also a target. I mean, having over 7,000 yards on his career, 61 touchdowns, he is predictable in passing the ball in my eyes. And the stats show that, which obviously do not lie. I mean, it is on paper, but he's also one of the first college athletes to sign name, image, and likeness, and this is his final season. I mean, everyone knows that he wants to make a statement. So how do you feel that, knowing all of this, the App State defense is going to come prepared for that?
App State is going to try to limit the football, the Cajuns for rushing the football. I think that we all know that UL can run the football at will, but it's the passing game that we're going to have to develop and going to have to get Levi Lewis, Kyron Lacey to get going. The Cajuns are averaging 28 points a game, but with App State at 35 points a game, going to need a little bit more points to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, and you mentioned the passing. I just want to touch back on that because the quarterback for App State, the favorite being Chase Bryce, has actually had frequent turnovers, which is obviously such an advantage for our defense. We can be able to really predict that. We can set up for that. He's also a very vulnerable player. He has really not as much stats on Levi Lewis. He's only had about 4,500 yards and 27 touchdowns. So UL is also being ranked over App State in that conference too. So thank you for joining. We both hope that the Raging Cajuns can pull the win out tonight. And after tonight's game against App State, the remaining home games are October 30th when the Raging Cajuns battle Texas State. Georgia State is scheduled to come to Cajun Field on November 4th, and the season finale is against Louisiana Monroe on November 27th. Popular app created in 2013 to connect pro athletes with sponsorship deals has grown with the addition of a new pool of athletes since the NCAA allowed college athletes to sign name, image, and likeness deals. Startup companies looking to expand their brands are reaching out to open doors to find college athletes to be the face of their company. The new market has already reached $100 million per minute, potentially reaching $1 billion in 5 years. College athletes can now earn a paycheck and have some control over the bottom line. After the NCAA gave the collegiate athletes the green light to sign contracts with corporations, earning their own money, what happens with all of that financial responsibility? Coming up after the break, my co-anchor, Jean-Pierre, asks the questions and much more. Stay with us.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this like deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure
Pure love.
love.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This year, the game literally changed for college athletes all across the country with a new name, image, and likeness deal. The NCAA gave students the financial freedom to sign contracts with companies of their choice. The first to do so, and in the nation, was Lafayette's very own Levi Lewis, who signed with Lafayette Travel and Eat Lafayette to act as an ambassador for the brands. Even though the financial details haven't been disclosed, Levi's deal is somewhere between 6 to 7 figures. Joining me to talk about challenges that students could face and how they could budget their money, David Lejeune from University of Louisiana Lafayette's own credit union. Thanks for joining me, David.
Thanks for having me.
So with students having deals up to worth $6,000 to $7,000, 6 to 7 figures, what are some of the challenges they could face with this new deal?
Well, some of the challenges for coming into new money is what do you do with it? A lot of people don't have that financial education going from high school to college, and the temptation is to spend it all as soon as you get it. So my advice for that is to hire a financial advisor or to go to your local credit union bank, wherever you might do business with, and just talk to them about ways you can save your money, or if you're looking to invest or buy property or a vehicle, make sure you're talking to somebody first. Don't go spend all your money right away.
Okay, so what are some programs that could be implemented to help them save their money?
Well, there's different budgeting programs. At the UL Credit Union, we have a financial literacy that we do for our students. So we show you how to budget, how to save, how to use your credit card, any kind of loans that you're interested in getting. So there's programs out there for you to save your money and ways to budget for the different expenses you might have.
So what do you believe are some of the most important benefits from saving early?
Some of the best benefits you get for saving early is building a habit of saving, because you're going to run into emergencies. You're going to have bills that you're going to end up paying, especially if you're in college. You're going to be interested in getting a vehicle or a home once you graduate. So once you save ahead of time, when an emergency comes along or life hits you hard, you'll have that money set aside. That way you're not struggling and relying on lending to get you out of an issue.
One of the things a lot of college students lack is the importance of having a budget. What are some things that you think that can get them started with their budget, and why is it so important?
So budgets are important because it takes what you actually make versus what you regularly spend, and it takes debt into factor when you're looking at a budget. It sets you up for the future. It makes sure that you aren't left behind with $0. You always want to make sure that you're starting with the amount you make and ending with a zero budget, and you're accounting for every dollar. And it's very useful for just making sure you don't fall into holes and you don't rely on lending in the future, kind of like I said earlier. It's just really important for living your life and not having to stress about what your money's making you do. You're telling your money what to do.
Okay, so what's some things that students could do to manage their student loan debt?
Ways to manage student loan debt is take advantages of the different programs that are offered. I know if you get your student loans through Sallie Mae, they offer income-driven repayment. If you're not making enough money, they'll work with you on that. You get a 6-month period before you have to start paying it, so that's a way for you to get your budget established once you're looking for a job. And there's just ways to incorporate it into your overall budget. That way you're not being, at the end of the month, you're zeroed out, you have no money left, and you're wondering where it went. There's different programs and forgiveness programs as well in place for you to make sure that you're not being broken by your student debt.
So what are some programs that the UL Lafayette's credit union offers for students right in the area?
Well, we offer a financial literacy program where we go to schools, UL and SLCC we also serve, where we will teach them basic money management, and we'll show them ways to save, ways to budget, what credit means, why it's important. We talk about loans, credit cards, all those different things. We also have financial counselors on staff, so if you are in a money issue that you're facing, you can come talk to one of our financial counselors, and we can help point you in the right direction and give you some tips and advice on dealing with that debt.
With some players being in the 6- and 7-figure tax bracket market, what do you think could be some of the challenges they could face being in the new tax bracket?
Well, as far as new tax brackets go, that's a little bit beyond my scope. We definitely advise, though, that you speak to a CPA or a higher CPA, because when you're dealing with those levels of money, you get into a lot of legal problems. So we advise to go with a CPA or financial advisor to help you get established with that money.
Okay, do you believe that the athletes should learn how to manage their own money, or should they hire a team to manage it for them?
Well, I think it's always important to know how to manage your own money and to be self-sufficient. But when you're starting out and you don't really know what you're doing, it's good to have that extra hand and help, because it's all Greek when you've never dealt with it before. So, yeah, I would definitely advise to get help to get started, but being self-sufficient is important. But if you're looking to diversify your investments and to get some earnings on that, then yeah, hiring people is not it's not taking away from you. It's just being smart with your money.
So, if a college athlete was to say, given $1 million, what should be the first thing that he should do with that money?
Make sure you don't have any debt, and make sure you don't start creating debt. I would say either save or invest that money. Make sure you're earning back on it if you can at all possible. And yeah, speak to someone who's going to help you. You can come down to us at the credit union. And there's different savings programs. There's high interest earning accounts and CDs and things like that you can put your money into. Definitely don't go buy a car or a house right away. Make sure you're talking to someone who knows about money and can help you to put it in the right place.
All right, David, thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
For a local football coach, getting his players to win in life is just as important as the final score. In part one of his series focused on the game outside of the playbook, Cameron Davis takes us to Opelousas High School, where they meet Jimmy Zachary. Here's the story.
I expected this team, we want to be over 500, at least finish 7-3, 6-4, make a deep playoff run. We are real young. we have only 6 seniors on the team total. And so we got a freshman starting quarterback, a freshman running back, 3 freshman old linemen. I have 3 out of the 4 linebackers are freshman cornerback. So we have a lot of freshmen starting, but we preach, our coaches, we preach that, you know, that's just a state of mind, you know, because, you know, you put the work in over the summer to get your bodies ready, you got stronger, and you can compete with a senior or a junior or whoever. So, you know, we try to not put that in their minds about being young, you know, let's just go, we coaching you up, go execute the job, you know. So again, we don't make excuses, we just try to win ball games.
Hey, but that's a part of being focused and locked in, son.
Well, you know, the reality of the situation, every kid don't make it to the NFL. You know, and we don't want to sell pies in the sky, you know what I mean? So the thing is, and honestly, college is not for everybody. So my whole spiel, I mean, as a head coach, I just want you to be a productive citizen. I don't want you living in your mama house and you're 32 years old writing your name on the milk. You know, whether it's a trade, whether it's going to the military, it's different forms of ways to be productive and be successful. I don't believe you have to go to college to be successful. I just don't believe that. But again, I do preach, you know, some kids, y'all have it. Y'all have it. Y'all have the tools, y'all have the skill set to go get paid for free. Go to college for free, get a free paid education. So we preach it all. You know, but again, I like to be real. Like, I just don't believe, I have a younger brother that's younger than me, and he make way more money than me. And he ain't even go to college. And he's a supervisor that's running the whole water sewage plant, you know. So again, I think it's just a state of mind, and I think it's just all about having a plan. You know, and that's what we talk to them about mostly, is having a plan. What is your plan? You know, when you become a senior, like last year with my seniors, I got them all in here, I made them write down, tell me your plan after you graduate, what you want to do. And some of them said they want to be YouTubers, and we had some of them that went vocational, we had some of them that actually went to college and played ball. So again, when I look at, when it's all said and done for me and I'm done coaching, I just want to look at, I produce men that's in the workforce, that's a driving force in the economy, you know, whether it's an electrician, whether it's a mechanic, whether it's a barber, you know, I just think it's just more ways to be successful than going to college.
Next week in part 2 of the Coaches Feature, we found out what Coaches Ackery sees as the team's opportunities for success and what obstacles they'll have to overcome to win. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining.